everybody. Today is a really special day. Today I'm with Rama Ben Zvi.
Shalom.
And I've known Rama for about 5 or 6 years. How did I meet Rama? Came to her fantastic, special restaurant here in Israel. And I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about it. But she's a very dear friend. She is a wonderful woman, a great mother, but a fantastic chef. So I'm going to let Rama tell you a little bit about her. And would you go ahead, start telling me a little bit about yourself?
So I'll start in 1980 when a group of young people, we were young then, found a piece of land, a piece of private land in Israel, which is very, very rare because most of the lands in Israel are nationalized by the state of Israel.
Right.
And we started and we decided that we want to build a little village.
Oh, wow.
And since we were young and very enthusiastic, we started building. And for 10 years, we lived here not connected to the water system, electricity system,
wow.
telephone system, or road. You know, from the way the world looks now and how materialistic it is,
yes.
It seems like it's only 30 years ago. And but then, you know, we thought, it's going to be temporary and we'll have it in a couple of months.
Right.
But then it took 10 years.
10 years without major things in your life, yes.
Yeah. And actually, this really imprinted in me the fact that we do everything by our own hands.
Correct.
When we came here, this mountain, this place was virgin. There was nothing. So every stone that you see here that is not in its natural place on the mountain is a stone that either myself, my husband, our children, workers, friends moved from right to left.
Oh, how beautiful.
So when we moved to live in Ataf, we built a little hut that we built ourselves. I was then 9 months of pregnancy with my first daughter.
Yes.
But we needed to hurry because we needed a roof to be. And this is also another thing, that a lot of things that we're doing don't come from ideas or ideology, but from the way we live and from the necessities that life proposes us.
Exactly. Is your daughter born there also?
Yes. This is my daughter.
Nice to meet you.
And her sister and her brother and her children and my other grandchildren, all of them were born here in Ataf. Actually
fantastic.
In Ataf.
That's what I was asking. That's wonderful.
And then in these years when we just started living here, so for the first I think for the first 10 years that we lived here, my profession was different. I was a dancer. I was dancing.
Oh, what kind of dancing?
It's called postmodern dance.
Right. I was a professional dancer.
Yeah?
That's why we go home. Yes.
And I had a group in Israel and then a group in Paris.
Wow.
And then when...
I feel so bonded more now to you. That's why she has dedication.
Yeah.
True. That's really why you have dedication. My daughter was a ballerina, and dancing gives you dedication. Yes, that's true. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Trains your dedication.
It does. Yes. Oh, that's amazing.
And then I decided that I want to do something else, and I want to do something that would be more connected to earth, would be less abstract than dance.
Right.
And this is how actually the idea of my first restaurant started. My first restaurant was also built by my husband and friends, but we had no idea what having a restaurant means.
Were you cooking then, or what? Just your home recipes?
Cooking,
or people loved your recipes because they are special. And your recipes do have organic, earthy, natural. What the flavors you taste are natural flavors.
So what was clear to me when I opened the restaurant, there were some facts that I didn't want to resist. One was that I was not a chef.
Right.
So I was not pretending to be one, and I was not trying to do what I don't know what to do. I knew what my advantages were and what my limits were.
Right. Wow.
The very important thing for me was that I felt that since we sit so strong in nature, and there is no There is no wall between us and nature. You can feel now the
You
wind.
can feel it with the openness of her restaurant right here.
Yeah, you can hear the birds.
And the opening in the ceiling. You can hear it.
you can.
It is.
You can smell it.
You
So
can.
I wanted this to be a very organic experience
Right.
of our guests.
Wow.
So the food has to go that we serve has to go with this, with nature,
Right.
and not to be more than it or less than it. It has to be. It has to come like another component in the same
Wow.
story.
And it seems like it comes together in a very complementary way. Like, just looking at this, you can just see the colors and the textures of the
And also the
seasonings.
ingredients that we are choosing. We choose only ingredients. Now it is very modern to say farm to table.
Yeah. But they got it from her.
But
Seriously.
at least in Israel, since as I
Yes.
told you, for us it was very natural that
Yes.
we grow our own vegetables, because going to the next village to the grocery
Right.
store would take 3/4 of an hour. So it was simpler to grow
To
them.
grow it. And I remember the first time I came here, that was the first impression I had. I pulled up, and to the right was all your herbs and plants and flower. Everything you would go out and just, oh, we need another zucchini, pop it off. Or,
Yeah.
It's just right there.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
but it was not out of idea, but
Right?
it was like
Necessity.
Yeah, this is the way we live.
Wow. And who knows
So-
that would evolve into this?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. So what we serve is either things that grow here or with local growers,
Right.
or that are very much connected, like in association to Israel, to the
Right.
land of Israel. It means, for example, that pineapple nowadays grows 10 kilometers from here, which is
Wow.
local, but we don't
I did
serve
not
it.
know that,
in
yeah.
Modi'in,
Yeah.
that you see over
Right,
there.
right.
But we don't serve it in the restaurant,
Okay.
because pineapple, the association of pineapple is Thailand,
Oh, right,
Asia.
Hawaii.
I don't want people
want it
there.
to be Israeli.
I want people to be here in the land, in the soil,
Yes.
in olive oil.
Yes,
Like for example,
olives.
here we have olive oil that comes from. We grow the olives,
Oh, wow.
and we make the olive oil.
Wow.
And then what you
love-
can see here, the black is not what would one think balsamic,
Balsamic,
because
right.
balsamic you don't do in
Italian,
Israel.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pomegranate juice that we
What?
pick the pomegranates and I make juice out of them, and then we concentrate
Are you
them.
kidding me?
Yes.
That's why it's pretty too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I love
Okay,
that.
so-
and I noticed something different this time. You didn't used to have your bread with holes like this. This is a new design. This is her new design. And I like it. It looks like a
Yeah, this has
it
a
looks
long
like-
story. I don't know
Don't
if you...
tell me yet.
Okay.
Say that for the end, but I did notice on your Instagram or wherever I saw it that is it in on Instagram, right? You have an Instagram? I noticed I saw this new style of bread. I
Yeah.
thought she's getting fancy on me. Because she used to do a different type of bread.
Yeah.
I like this though.
Yeah.
So reason why I'm here is because a couple years ago, my husband and I come here. I bring tour groups, but we come here first before our groups come in, and I was devastated at the time when I heard that her restaurant. Well, wait a second. I'm gonna let her tell you.
So almost 3 years ago, on a Friday of the end of November, there was a wedding in the restaurant, and then there was a big fire starting 5 kilometers from here.
Right.
We saw the fire.
Right.
Right away, the firemen came.
Okay.
Right away, little airplanes that take the fire down were in the air.
Okay.
Not being an hysterical person, I said, okay, let's continue with the wedding,
Yes.
and the firemen will do their work, and we'll continue
Yes.
with the wedding. And also the people of the wedding, the guests,
Right.
they saw the fire, but they saw the firemen, they saw the airplanes, and everything was okay.
Right.
Especially when you live in Israel, you learn to live next to catastrophes, and you continue your life. Otherwise, you can't live here.
Another day.
Yeah. And then at a certain point, as the fire got closer to here, the commander of the firemen came to my daughter, Ella, and told her, Ella, you have to evacuate the people.
Wow.
And Ella was still in the state of mind that it's there, it's not here. So she said, wait, I want to make sure that they had their desserts.
Oh my goodness.
So she found out that they had the dessert.
Yes.
So, and then she said, wait, but I want to make sure that they finished the desserts.
Right. I love this.
So she made sure, and they did finish their desserts, and then we asked people to leave.
That's a true hostess.
Yeah, absolutely. And then people left, but not hysterically.
Right.
And even when we told the waiters, okay, you have to leave, they said, but we can't leave the tables like this. We have to prepare the restaurant for the evening service.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So nobody thought that, anything that this dragon
Yeah.
is going to
Wow.
burn us. And then as I got out, because they told me also to go out, and I had to fight with them a little bit because of course I wanted to stay here. I got just down, I got with my car down
On the road area?
on the road, and I got out of my car and I turned backwards and I saw a big pile of black smoke.
Oh no.
And it was at this moment that I understood, and the words that somebody next to me said that I said was, "It's me."
Oh no. You felt, you knew.
And then I collapsed.
Yeah. I collapsed when Susan called me and said, "You won't believe this." I was devastated. I told you how devastated I was. And we kept following it. And then when you finally posted photos of the devastation, it was horrific to me. I can't imagine. So after you were on the road, what did you do? I mean, so you didn't get any of your personal items either?
No, the restaurant, there was nothing left of the restaurant. There were some baked potatoes.
Baked potatoes, really baked potatoes.
So they were really baked
Yes.
potatoes. And my house and my daughter's houses are very close to here, but they were hardly touched by the
thank
fire.
goodness, yeah.
Only very little.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, no, what did I take? The only thing I took in our age?
Yeah, what?
Pictures.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't have anything on the, so the only thing I took with me were
Your
my pictures.
Oh, thank goodness. Yes.
And then we were evacuated. The whole village was evacuated to a nearby Moshav village. And then we were very, very warmly, nicely hosted for a couple of days.
That was very nice.
And and people from all over Israel just came and just brought us food and brought us games for the children and toothbrushes and clothes and.
But I have to tell you, not only she had support from all over the world. She's had people from all over the world here who honestly were devastated, like myself. I mean, I was depressed about it. I kept I honestly just could not believe it. And I'm not the only person. I'm like a dot in the sand because you have people from all over the world that kept supporting and encouraging you. Don't give up. Keep going. And you told me something before we started filming about that. I said, I was so glad you got out of the ashes and actually it's even more beautiful if you guys come here. But you said something to me earlier about,
Giving up was not a choice. Because for us to give up and not to build up the restaurant was to give up our lives in a way.
I agree.
So it was not a choice, and I do thank my daughter Ella, who was really being younger than us. She was the one who pulled us to rebuild the restaurant, to reopen the restaurant. For her, there was hardly any hesitation as to the restaurant has to be rebuilt again.
Yeah.
And
that's because she loves you, right? She loves you and she knows. Come over here a second. Because when you love, get over here so they can hear you. But she loves you because I know from being a daughter that we know what our mothers need. And if you hadn't have done that, you would not be the same person.
Yeah.
Especially at our age, we need to keep going. That's why I'm doing these. Because I was telling her I'm an empty nester. What do? I go to Israel and interview people. But in all honesty, we need this, And I think people needed to see it because you starting the restaurant again encouraged other people. Because it wasn't like one little devastation. Everybody in life has something. If they tell you they don't, they're lying. And you picking back up and going is actually giving hope to people that say, gosh, if she can overcome that, I can overcome something. That's really what it is. It's a statement to other people to say, this was pure evil devastation. And I'm going to have her explain some things about the restaurant. If you do this, well, maybe I can do that. You know what I'm saying? It's encouragement to other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everywhere. I live in Arizona. It's encouragement to everybody, So when you came back and you saw it all, was it still smoldering or whatever the word is, burning or whatever?
Yeah. There were ashes everywhere. The thing was that when we came back, since the restaurant was also in the old restaurant, the tables were wood and the legs were from iron.
Right.
No,
and
the table were from wood, the leg were from wood, and it was, how do you say shaish?
Marble.
Oh, marble. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Did it survive?
And then it did not survive. But then what
Shoot.
you see, it was like the tables were arranged in lines.
Right.
Then you would see the marbles that fell down and broke.
Wow.
The chairs were the same. Then you saw all the wood was burnt, but
Yeah.
the frame, the
iron.
iron frame, then you see,
It
like
had to
you
be
could.
eerie. Very eerie to see that.
And then you could see, like plates, right,
Eerie.
but right here on the floor, fork on the floor, and then you would see all the glasses. They were distorted.
That's how hot it got, the
Yeah.
burned glass. That has
Yeah.
to be a high power.
Yeah.
So, did you walk away for a week, or did you just like was too much, or what did you do? How did you?
No, we came back, the whole family, after. And then I think what happens after such trauma, for myself, but
Yeah.
all of us, we became very, very active. We
Strong.
couldn't, but also active in an extreme way. Like we couldn't sit. Like,
Yes.
I meditate every day.
Yes.
I couldn't meditate. We were
Busy.
and what we were doing, we were just going around and we were just collecting all the pieces, and we were just trying to throw,
Yes.
to throw. We just wanted to clear it up,
Yes,
to get
clean
it out
up.
of here.
Get
yeah.
it out of our system.
Yeah, and many friends and family came, and just
Wow.
people we didn't know just came and helped us.
Oh, I love
yeah.
that. So then, when you started the new restaurant, I noticed you moved it over.
Yes,
It's like starting anew.
yes.
But so when you started, tell about how your husband and son built every single thing you see. I mean, it's amazing. Do you want-
It's there were three. It's my husband, it's my daughter's
oh,
husband,
wow. Okay.
and our son.
Wow.
And actually, the architecture is a mutual project of my husband and
Right.
my son-in-law, my daughter's son. So they designed
is
everything
beautiful.
together. Yeah. And they built it, the two of them, our son and friends.
Right.
And they built everything except for the chairs
Yes.
and the ventilators that we bought. But otherwise, everything
I mean, even
is
the
handmade.
stone pillars, they chiseled. Her husband
Yeah.
and two boys chiseled every single stone, which I'm going to show you. Unbelievable.
And also when you see like this, the
Right, the
tray.
boards, right?
Yeah, the boards. Actually, these were olive trees that were burned in the
Wow.
fire.
What?
So we cut them.
Right.
We dried them, and then we sliced them.
Oh my goodness, they're beautiful.
And now we serve. So for us, it's like really a simple of our.
Yes, you're laying something with history on everybody's table. People
Yeah,
are going
and
to come
also
and not
very
understand.
meaningful,
Yes,
yeah.
they're not going to understand that this is a big history right here.
Yeah, yeah.
I just have a marketing idea. She should sell these. I would buy one. But so then tell about, like, this is like your signature, right? The bread and the.
Yeah.
I mean, that's everybody's favorite, right? That's the.
In Israel, yes. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, it is so. So how many children do you have? I didn't even ask.
3.
You have 3, two girls and a boy.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I can't remember. So, how is the restaurant? I know you changed the style and the. It's not open all the time. It's more of a specialty restaurant now. So tell about that.
So first of all, the big change is that it's not my restaurant; it's my daughter's restaurant.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
And I'm working for my daughter.
I like that. That's good.
And
Yes.
it's very nice. And for us also, the relationship, the fact that she's the leader and
Yeah.
I'm behind her supporting,
I love
but she's the
that.
leader. And being a mother and a daughter, so it's very interesting, can be sometimes very hard. Most of the time it's very enriching
Right.
and teaching and making us get closer, and it's amazing.
I love that.
With the difficulties.
Yes, of course. I have children.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, that is wonderful. So
So, and really, Ella wanted really to find the equilibrium amongst having a restaurant and having a family.
wow.
She has 2 relatively young daughters, so she didn't want to have a restaurant that would be open every day to the public and then would to be absolutely swollen in a
Yes.
restaurant like people that have restaurants are.
Yes.
So, having said that and trying to find this equilibrium, the restaurant is open to the public mostly only on weekends.
I love that.
And then the rest of the days, it's open for private events.
Wonderful.
And the size is perfect.
Oh.
The surrounding, the setting, everything.
It's a dream. It
It is.
really is a dream. And I was telling her this would be the most gorgeous place to have a wedding. I mean, honestly, it's just absolutely a dream place. It's like a fantasy. Well, I'm so glad you spent time with me. You are so precious, and the things that you've been through are life-changing for everybody. And your garden, you have everything in here, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you guys that too. But I want to say thank you, Rama.
Toda
You are
raba.
so special. Mwah. I'm
Toda
so
raba.
glad I even know you. You're a really amazing woman.
Toda raba.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you again when we come back to have food. Thanks, you guys.
Okay. Actually, when we rebuilt the restaurant, it was also an opportunity to rethink about everything we're doing, of course, the food. And the first thing we started with was the bread. And the image that I had and still have is that I want the restaurant to be like bread. Meaning that actually what is in bread? It's flour, it's water, and it's air. And when you find the right harmony between these three very basic, simple components, then you can create something that is perfect in the sense that you don't need to add anything to it. And we had a bread expert from Israel, his name is Anomar El, that really taught us about bread, that went along the way with us with the bread. And we did many, many trials. This special bread, also we use a lot of ancient wheats, which is, a big thing now in the world and of course in Israel, where the mother of wheat is. And this bread is an image that I had of a bread. It is originated in the French fougasse. And we played with it until we got to the color, to the texture, to the flavor, to the right recipe. And the sign for me is that the first breads came out of the oven and they were the right breads. I started having tears and I said, okay, this is the right bread.
Wow.
And the fact that we decided to serve it this way is because in Israel, in the Mediterranean, we eat a lot with our hands. So it permits, even though there is a knife, but it permits you really to cut the bread and then dip it in one whatever.
Medet niye?